You have to look at the micro traumas that happen. How many times have you hit your head? How many times did you breach a door? How many flashbangs went off? Our human brains are literally sitting in fluid around a skull. It's not connected to anything. It's just bouncing around in there. So every little fight, every butt stroke to the head in training, every parachute opening, anything that's ever happened to you is all those micro traumas over a long period of time, accompanied with high adrenaline, high cortisol for decades. And then we wonder why all these guys all of a sudden, they stop being a cop, they stop being a firefighter, they stop being a military service member, and all of a sudden they're crashing. And they're like, oh, he's just got PTSD or he's got traumatic brain injury or something like that. He needs to go get on Prozac and Ambien and, you know, Valium and Prazosin. And I mean, they've got a million pills that are just gonna hand right to you. Instead of looking at the real source of the problem, like what's actually happening in the brain, what's broken, and how can we fix it?
Core Medical Group was started about 11 and a half years ago down here in South Florida. Saw a demand for educating people with hormone replacement therapy, overall health and well-being. Stress can cause anxiety, can cause multiple different ways for your mind and your body to work in a negative way. Those negative ways impact your overall hormones. Testosterone is one that's actually affected very easily. Constant stress in the workplace, coming home to an uncomfortable family atmosphere, driving in a car and seeing something very trauma-inducing, all cause stress and cause our testosterone as well as all of our other hormones to deplete. That's why it's so important to stay in balance with your hormones, to understand what's going on with your body, because even if your testosterone, for example, is at 900 when you're 28, by the time you're 31, your testosterone can be at 300. And if you don't have that bearing, you don't know where you've come from.
My name is Koumalatsos. I spent 12 years in the Marine Corps from 2000 to 2012. Half of my time was with a special operations unit called Marine Special Operations Command as a Marine Raider, and deployed in support of Operation Enduring Freedom and Iraq, Afghanistan, Turkey, Southeast Asia. And then, like most veterans, came home, got out, and struggled with some things, which led me to a path of helping individuals through my own struggles, and I found Core Medical Group. The personal touch with Core and the way that they truly gave a shit about your health and your life is unprecedented.
If you're deficient in your hormones, you just cannot have the same drive as if you're not. Hormones are what drive us on a daily basis. They're what help us get up in the morning. They're what help us grow into new ideas. They're what help us become better in the gym, become better at our sports, become better at anything that we do.
It's a huge blessing to me to be able to take a patient that comes in that doesn't know me, and I can talk to them through this whole process and from the beginning to the end. When a patient comes to me and they're complaining about the symptoms are different for a lot of people, but the majority of them are, you know, the brain fog, the lack of energy, you know, the no energy in the middle of the day, they're not sleeping good, you know, for a man, the extra belly fat around their stomach, and these are people that are really trying to do it right. They're eating clean, they're trying to get their sleep at night, so they're helping themselves along, but with the hormones tanked, they're getting all the symptoms.
Once I got out, I just struggled with purpose. I thought I had it all figured out. I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna get a good job, life's gonna be great, and it was actually the opposite of that. It was disaster. I lost my purpose. I had this identity within the military. I was this thing. I was this person within the military. And then when I got out, you thought you're gonna be this thing the same way, but you're not. You're not part of that unit. You know, that door shuts and you can't get back in. And so here I am sitting on the couch, just thinking everything was a lie. I've lost my place in life. I feel like crap. I'm not sleeping. I'm thinking about all these different things that happened to me over the past 12 years. And it's all just, it's like you're going 300 miles an hour on a train track and then you stop. but you've got 12 years of baggage behind you that just hits you square in the back of the head.
Until my eyes were open to really what goes on in the military, I treated most of the veterans and active duty people just as anyone else that would come through the door. Once my eyes were opened, I really understood the direction that they were in. And once I really looked at the data, saw that they were more affected by low testosterone than anyone else that we've dealt with over the last decade. A few people have come into my life and they've actually opened the doors to me and made me understand what goes on inside that community as well as overseas. 99% of the people walking the face of the earth right now that are not first responders, that are not in the military, have no idea what these people go through. They have no idea.
The military is something that's been my passion since I've been young. A lot of my friends and family did join the military and stuff, so taking care of them now, many years later, is the give back and the blessing for me, because they go over and they fight for our freedoms and they're exposed to so much stress over there. And it's great that I can help them out and feel better. I was one of the guys that here at Core Medical that helped get our military veteran project going on 3 years ago, and that's the blessing to me, dealing with all of our military.
So here I am, I've got a decent job, I'm making good money, but I can't relate with my family. I can't relate with my own kids, my own daughters that I love, but there's just a disconnect there. I'm depressed, I'm not sleeping, and a friend of mine says, have you had your hormones checked? And I said, no, I didn't even know that there was something about that. And because he's like, man, honestly, I feel like you might have some low testosterone. So I went to his doctor at the time and got my blood tested, and I had a 190 testosterone. And the doctor, who at the time was a former Vietnam surgeon, he goes, well, no wonder you feel like shit. I mean, like, you have the testosterone of a 72-year-old man, not me, because his testosterone was like 1,200. He was 72. He said, but no wonder you feel like this way. He's like, you're added fat. I'm in my 30s, and all of a sudden I got this fat around my waist that I've never had in my entire life. I'm not sleeping, I'm depressed. My sexual appetite is gone. Like, I just don't care about sex anymore. And he goes, there's a reason for this. It's not because of all the other things, it's because your hormones are off. As soon as I went on TRT, it was like the shades came up and I could see the world for the first time. And everything was so clear, my path, my direction, what I needed to do in life. And not only that, I had the energy to just go all day, absolutely go all day. I took all the VA meds and basically everything that they were pumping me at the VA, just swiped them into the garbage, and I didn't need it. I didn't need anything other than just a couple bioidentical hormones, and that was it. And I was just going 100 miles an hour.
It's amazing to see somebody that comes in the starting line that has brain fog, that has no energy, that has no sexual libido, you name it. They are suffering from all the side effects of, low hormones. And then to see them 2-3 weeks into the protocol calling me back up saying, man, Mel, thank you so much. Their wife's calling me up saying, thank you for giving me my husband back. So I have such a personal rapport with our patients that come in, and it's just amazing.
I've never seen so many people that have been affected with hormone replacement issues as the military community. We've really taken the time to understand what's going on there, and we've done that by actually speaking to them, really understanding what's happened, what their needs are, what their goals are. Because the things that have gone on overseas with these guys is even worse when they come here. The negative support that they've had, they're also being treated by the VA and still coming back to me with the same issue. Unfortunately, which is really difficult for everyone to swallow, the VA just doesn't bring support to that area.
If a veteran goes to the VA, what they will do is they will give him the minimal dose. They might give him, just like 0.25 of a cc of testosterone, but every 3 weeks. But they won't give you the anti-estrogen. They won't look at a B12. They won't look at HCG. They won't look at any of the other parts of the endocrine system that's going to make you healthy. They're only going to treat one little thing that's only going to mess you up even more.
I have patients that go in there, they're on all sorts of psych medication. They tell them, listen, my testosterone's 100. They're provided the incorrect dosing.
So their protocols are off. They just don't have enough data. honestly, I don't think that in the next 10 to 20 years, they're gonna look at it the right way. I think it's gonna take a lot longer.
We evolve, we change that. We try to get rid of those psych meds, we put them on the correct protocol, and we actually change their lives. Not only when a police officer's at work are they dealing with massive trauma, seeing terrible things, but once they get off work, they're still in the pandemic. They still have the stress of everything going on. They get no relief. Then they go home, maybe a loved one's sick at home, now they're dealing with that, maybe they get it. That constant stress put in place is just something that depletes you and destroys your hormones. And unfortunately, we've seen a major change in the amount of people coming through the door for hormone issues due to the fact that the pandemic's in place and that they're constantly dealing with stress.
So during this pandemic, we were a little nervous about how things were gonna go, you know, with everything shutting down with our patients and stuff. But what I really did see through this pandemic is people are hanging on to their health. They're making sure that their health is first and foremost. And that to me is amazing because I've been a health guy all my life and stuff. And with seeing people that have to sit at home and they can't go to their jobs and the depression is setting in and stuff like that, dealing with the patients that come over, the new ones and the current ones that we have right now, and watching people really put their health first and foremost has been amazing.
One of the things that we did to pivot during the pandemic was we took an approach to offer 20 weeks of therapy for all of our patients at a very discounted rate. Me being able to offer the patients a larger volume of medication at one time allowed me to offset some cost. The pharmacy worked with us, and that way our patients knew that at the very least for those 10-week period that they were safe and they had their basic therapy put in place. The company took a traumatic hit during that period of time, but it was really beneficial simply because those patients had that peace of mind in place and knew that core was behind them. Since then, our attrition rate has been so minimal, and multiple other facilities followed our lead during that situation. Due to COVID and things that have come into place, it's allowed us to open up the world of telemedicine. Now I can prescribe basically anywhere in the country, and what I've learned from that is that telehealth actually is better medicine than people having to go into the office. People open up more inside their home, they feel more comfortable, they're more vulnerable. Everyone shows up to their doctor's appointment. They're not waiting in line. They get to relax, get things done around their house, continue to work till it's their turn at their appointment. We're constantly finding new things that benefit our patients for their overall health, bringing new things to the table, especially during times like COVID.
So at the time, I was seeing a great man, a doctor, as a local facility in Kansas City. But I would have to, every year, I would have to fly to him and do blood work twice a year. And it was just kind of, it was hard to keep it up, and it was hard to keep, to keep that kind of relationship with your doctor that is very important. It's vital to my lifestyle, it's vital to the way I feel in my personal health. And then I came off of testosterone because at 38 years old, we decided to have a baby, but because I had a vasectomy, I had to come off testosterone. Now, this is what the beautiful part is. The beautiful sad part is if I was with Core during that time, I never would have came off completely. I would have had a protocol that would have kept me healthy, but man, I came completely off testosterone, cold turkey, and I crashed. I woke up and it was like I had no purpose in life again.
People are like, Mel, we see you constantly on the road. We see you on the airplanes. We see you traveling. You're always upbeat. And I said, that's from the hormones because I couldn't do it without it. And I had a break in the hormone replacement. I had a surgery and stuff, so I was off for 8 weeks, just relaxing from the surgery. And I felt the huge difference, bringing your levels up from the bottom of the range, when you're in the 200s and 300s to bringing them up to the 900s is a night and day difference.
After 12 months, after 6 months, depending on the patient, they have to come back in for blood work and physicals. Due to the fact that we can do telehealth, it's more time effective for all of our patients across the board.
Telehealth has been amazing for us during this COVID situation because it allows the patient to just sit at home and get the call with the doctor over the phone, and all they have to do is go out and hit their local, their blood facility or LabCorp, get their blood tested, and everything's done over the phone.
And their visit can be in their car on the way to pick their kids up from school. It's very simple. And that's really important to me because it really hurts to see people come off of hormones, because instantly I think of what I've gone through. And it's very important that we stay consistent with our hormones, especially the protocols that our clinicians put in place.
This whole journey started with me being a veteran and going through this myself. Now that I've been doing this for several years and have been helping people, I'm learning that it's coming from all walks of life. It's not just the veterans, it's not just for first responders. There are men and women that are in their early 40s that are struggling with the same thing. For me to be able to share my story and be like, hey, listen, brother, like there's no difference. Like, you're a father, you're a husband, and you need to be the best version of yourself. Let's get your blood tested. Let's look at what's really going on in your body, and let's see if this is a solution for you. And 9 times out of 10, guess what it is? Boom, low testosterone.
The reason why I like helping people reach the most optimal place in their life through health and wellness is a very selfish reason. I want to be the best that I can be on a daily basis. I want to be the best father. I want to be the best son. I want to be the best husband. I want to set good examples for those around me. And I actually do that, and hormones are a huge portion of the reason why I can do that. So me passing on that message gives me instant gratitude and allows me to feel really good about myself because I see it happening in others.
This job, you have a lot of micro trauma, and I wanted to share with individuals how important it was to get your hormones checked and to share my personal story with them to show them that life doesn't have to suck. You don't have to be in this fog. You don't have to be, physically unfit. You don't have to have sexual dysfunction. You can have passion. You can be excited. You can have drive, and all the way up until the day you die.
The most inspirational thing that happens to me being a managing partner at Core Medical is the patients themselves. I love when they're calling me back, telling me how good they feel, and they thank me for helping them out. That to me is the reward and the blessing.
My daily goal and the reason why we stay so successful is simple. My focus is to make sure that my staff is successful and my patients have success through the process of being with Core Medical Group.